Pals, welcome to another episode of the Plot Pals podcast.
This is the time of the year to be jumping back into the dark and gritty world of Joker, the film that literally broke box office records when it came out, showing Joker in this whole new light where we don't know if we should be on his side, we don't know if we should hate him, love him.
Movie that made him human, that was so different from any other Joker movie ever made, from any other universe. And so again, it comes back with an iconic singer, actor, Lady Gaga. What? What in the
A
world?
return into the world of musicals for this Joker world. Can you believe it? Are you ready for a musical, my friends? You should be, because there's lots of it here.
Yeah, and I know a lot of you are not a fan of musicals, and believe me, I've been there. I'm there with you, but like, don't miss out on this movie. Seriously, it was so enjoyable. It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
And picture this: the theater was packed with people, with families and friends that were laughing and impatiently waiting for the movie to come on their screens and like eating all their popcorns before it even came out. And then it starts and you're shocked because, well, you're expecting to see Joker, but what you see is basically a Tom and Jerry cartoon, a 2D cartoon. And like,
Exactly. You are
It's
going to
just-
be surprised at every turn. There's some expectations you will have going from Joker 1 to 2.
Yeah.
And those will be shattered. This is so fantastical. This is exactly what you want to see from
Right.
Joker, to be honest. Like, if this movie came out the year that Heath Ledger played Joker,
Yeah.
it would have broken through this universe. You know, all the girls lining up. Like, this is their fantasy exactly on the screen. And the boys. You know, it's like right there, everything that you would want from Joker is here, including a marriage scene. Him in a suit
What?
getting married. So that's the kind of film you're going in for. It's absolute fan favorite. It's gotta
It's
be.
a fan fiction for sure.
Fan fiction.
Literally, I was blushing audibly in the theaters. You know that.
Yeah.
It was so insane. Like, I can't anymore.
Just imagine
was
this.
too much.
When you sit in the theater, you are going to be just putting your hair back constantly and like just fantasizing. And that's what Joker is doing the whole movie. You will
Yeah.
be doing the same thing. And damn, Harley Quinn is a crazy bee. You're gonna love her. Yeah, you will be surprised by her character. The
Yeah.
trailers didn't show that much of what she would be like, and you kind of see like, I don't know, do people like psycho girls? Like, do men like psycho girls?
Oh, for sure.
She's
Toxic
psycho.
Girls, of course.
Toxic psycho.
Yeah,
Singer.
absolutely. In the trailers, as you say, what I gathered was that she's just obsessed with Joker. But when you actually get to see the movie, yes, she is obsessed, but she is the one that is manipulating Joker. And in like Suicide Squad, in that movie, we saw another dynamic between Joker and Harley Quinn. It was Joker that was manipulating her and like talking and like convincing her to do things for him. But no, in this one, Harley Quinn is the one, the mastermind. She is the one that convinces him to do things and like brainwashes him. It's absolutely new and so fantastic.
Once again, Joker is bringing us into this world that's between the DC fantasy and like a very real relationships and dynamics. Joker 1 did this perfectly with this man who was just taken away from society and put pressure on from every direction.
Right.
And now we get to see this new dynamic, which is a man who has again been cast away is now found a love, or is she going to manipulate him and actually destroy his life? And it's so interesting the directions that he will go, and will he go the right way, the wrong way?
Yeah.
What's he supposed to do?
Absolutely, because like the first movie was so realistic, like too realistic for Joker, you know? And that's one of the reasons why it got really famous too, and it won an Oscar. It made Joker human. But now here we see both sides to Joker. We see the DC, I don't know, is it Marvel too?
It is DC, yeah.
Yeah, so we see that side of him, as well as like the comic book side of him, as well as the human side, the human relationships, as well as the Harley Quinn and Joker relationships. And on top of all of this, the real theme of the movie that they talk about throughout it, and it's touched on from the first moment that you watch it, is the fact that is Joker having a split personality? Is Joker a separate entity from Arthur Fleck?
That's fantastic. Isn't that so interesting
Yeah.
psychologically?
Yeah, of
I would
course.
say this movie is for you if you're okay with morality being discussed. You know,
Yes.
this film will really push you and make you uncomfortable. And there is violence, absolute chaotic violence. Oh my God. And there is even courtroom, like you're going into this, like, who's right and who's wrong there, romance. It, if you're willing to open yourself up a little bit and accept
Yeah.
the blood and gore and the gunshots, this is fascinating. You should check it out
And
immediately.
it's hilarious.
It's funny.
It's so good. Like, we had so many audience members. Okay, first of all, it was packed and we felt so cozy and comfortable, you know? Finally, the theaters were full of people.
Full of people, and it's out on IMAX, this giant screen.
Dang, dang. And then there were people on our row or like all throughout that were laughing so loudly. It just felt amazing, you know, to laugh along with these people as well. And most lines, especially like in the beginning, well, the movie is so funny. But like in the beginning, it's so hilarious. Like every line is just funny. Everybody's laughing at it.
Exactly. It's an enjoyable time in the theater, especially
Yeah.
because there's also music. People
Oh.
express themselves musically. It really reminded me of these Bollywood films and the
Oh,
Telugu industry.
yeah.
I loved it. And so you're sitting there and it's dark. Yes, it's a dark story, but you're constantly being fed these beautiful human sides of being
Yeah.
alive. It was awesome.
Especially since like we talked a lot about Bollywood and usually like they try to express those emotions, those huge emotions through songs and especially relationships. So you get to see that. Of course, Hollywood is an amateur in that
Yeah.
area, but like it's a good starting point. If you see it, you're gonna like it, and it's not obviously as good as the Bollywood kind of like songs and music, but like
Check it out.
give them
Yeah,
some
I know.
slack, you know, it's the
Yeah,
first
I
time.
would say totally they've been inspired because it's
Yeah.
not like America has never made musicals. Yes, America also has a history, but it's Bollywood cinema. And like I would say
Right.
Indian cinema that is really ingrained with music, and you can just tell that there's influences because these people every time they're having any kind of emotion, like if they're singing about their love, them wanting to be free, they went straight to song and they went straight to choreography. That's not common
Yeah.
for an American film.
Absolutely.
It was unique to see they're actually pushing the boundaries a little bit and exploring new territory.
So true. And you know, a lot of people, obviously, when they heard that it was a musical, they put their guards up. They were like trying to defend themselves. No, I'm not going to watch this movie. It's not the same as the first one. Why did they make it a musical? And we've been there too. We were wondering, why did they make this choice? But it makes so much sense with Joker. We talked about it last night after we watched it. It just Joker is all about entertainment. He's all about the show, putting on a show, you know? He's a clown. So it makes sense for him to be on this stage, to perform, to dance,
Oh
to
yeah.
sing, you know?
It matches Joker's character so well. So Joker is this psychopath based on what we knew of him from the previous films, not even just this franchise.
Right.
That's the vision we have of him. And what does a psychopath do best is put on a show because they have no emotions. So you think that even if it was Heath Ledger singing and dancing, you know, I would love that. And now we got this other guy who is, we've seen even from the first films, he is a guy who's in in touch with his like artistic side. He
Yeah.
dances to express himself. He sings.
Oh.
And so you get to see this in a higher level this time with with choreography and with shots that you actually love to get into, and like he's behind the moon and he's suddenly wearing these tap dancing shoes,
Look
and
at that.
it's like a whole new world of him that we see deeper in his own fantasy, but
Definitely,
very
it is his
emotional.
fantasy. But like that's the beautiful part, and it's such a contrast because we start the movie with everything being bland, just like the first movie. You know, everything is gray, black and white, and then we see him. He doesn't even talk for like the first 10 minutes or something. Everybody around him is making fun of him. He's weak. The minute that he meets this Harley Quinn, his world just becomes colorful. There's like sun rays and like there's music and colors, everything around. You know, that's literally how it is to be obsessed with someone, or like infatuation, or like what you think love is. That's how it is.
Joker's really good at this whole franchise, at showing just how Joker sees the world. Everything you see is based on his experience.
Yeah.
So, like you say, like he's just so withdrawn and not even talking to anyone, not kind of taking part in this world,
right.
up until he sees the girl, and suddenly it's fast, it's colorful. He's singing and he's smiling and his laugh is back, and the music, the iconic like "That's Life" music comes back,
Yeah.
and you can just see, oh, this is a man who murdered 5 people and he was shot away and put inside of a prison for so long, and now finally there's a new hope in his life.
That's
They're so
true.
good at showing this. Like, I love getting in the mind of Joker, and they do this really
Yeah,
well.
me too. And that's the thing. Like we were talking about the fact that they didn't really show Harley Quinn that much, or like we didn't go in depth in her. But because this movie is all Joker's perspective, and they show it very well, they could express that in the movie very well. The direction is so good that, or the script probably, that you just see the world through Joker's lens. Everything is just a fantasy. Like at times he wants to speak up and he starts singing, and that's actually a fantasy. You realize that wasn't even real. Every time he gets into the character of Joker, he also becomes like gets into the fantasy singing mode and everything. It's just like that.
Yeah, and then they show his character gain confidence when he's within this mask. You kind of get two different Joaquin Phoenixes in this movie. One is the man who's always been berated his entire life, and
Yeah.
one is a man who has an identity. It's this Joker in a suit. And you get to see him play with these two different characters. He does a great job in this.
What a range! Like he could go just like that from this to this one. And it's such a contrast. And you see it more in this movie because like in the first movie, I don't think you could tell the difference between Joker and him.
In the first movie, we saw Joker very little.
Right.
Just really at Murray's show, we saw the full Joker.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think anywhere else we saw that actually. Yeah, you're right. And then here, you actually see the distinction between the two and how he just switches like that. But you also get to know that he's aware of the fact that Joker is separate from him. He's aware of this and he knows that people love Joker. And he's always been after that love. He always wanted people to love him. So now that he realized this fact, he's going to be Joker more because therefore people will love him more.
And he exaggerates Joker to the point of very funny.
Oh,
In a very funny scene.
oh God.
He is putting his biggest Joker performance on for you with accent and everything. My God, you will be shocked. And what I love is how they have this kind of contrast between him as a low IQ man who is naive.
Yeah.
And he's been in bad situation all his life. And then when he's Joker, he just wants attention. So he will literally do anything. If it means stepping on a table in front of everyone or shooting his gun, like there's such a difference here. And then they explore the split personality. I was hooked on that, to be honest with you. They even have therapists come in and they have interviewers and they're trying to find out what is going on with this Joker. Like, is he double? Is he one? Is he lying?
Right.
That was great.
It's amazing. Actually, we see a lot. We have a lawyer character that is like really on his side, tries to defend him, knows what's going on psychologically with him. Then we've got the interviewer, as you say, who's trying to like sabotage him or like get something out of him, you know, in the interview that could show that he's a psychopath, that he is crazy. And he killed these people on purpose and soberly and all that. And then we've got, what else? We've got the other, what is it?
Counselor, probably.
I think so. Another lawyer that is like attacking him, that is from the city. And so you get to see all these characters. And then you got Harley Quinn that is his supporter. And one of the questions that for me was like really big, and after watching the movie I had on my mind, was that, do you think the lawyer was right or Harley Quinn? Because here's the thing, the lawyer just tells Joker that yes, your mom did these things to you. You have this like disorder, you have these
You were a victim all
problems.
your life.
You are a victim, you have this problem. So the lawyer makes him weak even though she shows the reality to him. She also makes him weak. Harley Quinn, even though she's on the wrong path, she's like she encourages him to become the Joker, and she's like, "No, you're powerful. You're Joker. You can do anything you want." It is in the wrong path, but at least it makes him tap into his power.
Exactly. That's such a hard choice.
So
It's,
which
it's
one?
difficult to say. And yeah, like, wouldn't it always be a good choice to be more powerful and comfortable in your own skin? Like, if you're a killer, you're a killer. Why would you hide that? Why would you
Right.
lie and say it's somebody else's fault that I killed?
That's
So
true.
I understand why we would be on her side. Definitely.
Mm.
This Harley Quinn comes in and just says, "Forget your defense. Forget that you're trying to save your life. You're bigger than this. You can do
Yeah.
anything." That's crazy. Like, if somebody came up and said that to you, you would listen to them, you would love them, they would
Yeah.
become your number one
Of
bestie. Do you know?
course.
So I get where he's coming from here.
Absolutely. But also, look at this. Like, even though Joker is a mask, Arthur is also a mask. You know, I don't get it. Why do they insist on the fact that Arthur is the real him?
Exactly.
Arthur
Arthur is
is
so
also.
repressed. Yeah. Arthur is
Yeah.
not a real guy.
Arthur is a mask, a role. Joker is a role. And that goes the same for everybody, actually. Like, this persona of, like, Maral and Anna is a role. And any other persona that we take ever, it's gonna be a role, you know? It's not the real us. So in this part, I don't think they were right. Like maybe the director is just thinking psychologically about the whole thing, not spiritually, not about like the deep things, you know, that a person is, what is a person. But yeah, I mean like
It
Arthur.
makes sense though, because imagine Harley Quinn thinks that the real Joker is that psycho. And then the lawyer thinks the real Joker is him.
Uh-huh.
And that's why Arthur himself is in the middle. Like, which one am I? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm neither. That's why it's hard for me to choose. So
Yeah.
the director, maybe he didn't tap into this, like him finding the real self as much, but it is there in the underneath. Like, neither of these two are Joker. And
Yes.
who is he really? If he just spoke up more, like he sings in his fantasy, but in real life, Arthur is very timid and just lets people take so much advantage of him.
Yeah.
Horrible. And then, or he just goes on the complete opposite side where he's starts talking in a British accent and like putting full face of makeup on. Like, he has no in between.
Yeah, that's so true. And you know, the thing is, like, this Joker, what they said and tried saying is that Joker is the shadow, you know? It's the shadow. But I think, like, the shadow just indicates that there is an object, there's a light, and there's an object that is so much bigger than that. Like, that is 3D, that is so much bigger. And that Joker is powerful because his real self is really powerful. So if he could find himself, even though it's really hard because he's in a hellish place right now, he can't do that. But that Joker is just like a reflection of what he actually is. He is that kind of powerful
Yeah.
person, confident person. It's just like a promise of what you are actually. Ah,
And that's why you can relate to it so much, because it applies to everyone. We're all living with this shadow self of ours, or this repressed self that's just not as good as it should be.
right.
And so maybe that's why we see ourselves in this Arthur character. And that's why we've seen ourselves in Joker this entire time
Right.
in the last decade.
The thing is, like, this director was really like influenced by Freud, who says that people are three, like, actually people. They have three parts. They have the id, they have the ego, and there's another one.
Super ego.
Super ego, I think so, yes. Well, there's a good
Land.
one. There's definitely a good,
Okay.
very moral one. There's the one that is like the animal one. And then there's the one that judges and, like, not judges, but chooses to be either.
Yeah.
So actually, it's not, Joker is not these two characters, he's three, and he's the one that decides. He is the one that decides which one to be. That's who he is.
Everyone has been obsessed with this character of Joker. I wonder
Right.
what it is. Like, literally billions of people on this earth.
So hot. Okay, as a
What is it
girl,
hot?
like
That's
he's
hot. Tell me,
so
guys.
hot.
Like his hair
He's
is thinning, it's colored green. He has literally pounds of makeup on. And he's wearing a red suit and he's thin. Like what is it that we like about him?
He's so relatable. I guess that's what it is. And he's so confident. Like, do you see when he gets into Joker character how he's more powerful and confident than any man that you've ever seen before.
Okay.
He could do anything.
Yeah. He is not bound by society's rules when he's
Yeah.
Joker.
And people
Certainly.
respect that. Because everybody is like bound by these things and also, disrespects themselves in order to obey the society rules. So if they see somebody that doesn't obey anybody else or like these norms, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a special person. That's a person I gotta follow. They know something."
That's great. This is the kind of people who are also interesting. So imagine there's a Harvey Dent character. He's the other lawyer who is against Joker, just saying, "Look at Joker. He's gotta die."
Yeah.
He's just this fake mask of like morality.
know.
Oh yes, I'm doing the right thing. I think I'm handsome. Look at my suit. I'm gonna go to
Yeah,
dinner
then-
afterwards.
Let me button this
Yeah,
up and then, like,
and then unbutton it
unbutton it.
ASAP. Yeah, I think the thing is like, no one is attracted to him, even though on the page he's the perfect guy, like he's the lawyer, and we're attracted to the guy who is saying you're a liar. This is not you. You're just acting like this is morality. You don't even know me. You don't know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
That's probably what it
Here's
is.
the thing, there's a mask that you have on, like Joker. Joker is not actually a mask. It's a part of his real self that he shows. But most people, like that lawyer, they have an what do you call that?
Unbreakable,
Probably.
impenetrable.
Impenetrable mask that actually doesn't show, it's completely blank. It doesn't even show their good side or their bad side, nothing about their real self. So that's why we don't get to like those characters. We don't get to like these people. But Joker, even though it is technically a mask, it's actually his real side. It's a part of him. It's a part of this person, That's why we like it. He shows himself. He is authentic to a degree. That's why we like him.
Right, and we also see him fall in love. That's very relatable. Have you noticed this year, so many movies are about falling in love and the other person completing you? We just talked about Megalopolis, of course, and this was the same theme there.
Right.
That your
clearly
love will
said
fix
it.
you. Yeah.
It would stop time and
Exactly. And now here it is that love will repair you, your trauma. Or unless it's
from
this abusive love. Yeah, you're just being used in.
Wow.
What? Every year it's like one topic is on everybody's mind. And I wonder if this is love. Let's follow along with this year's films to see if that's a theme coming across.
And this is going to be one of the selections for this year's Oscars, obviously.
You think? Yeah, I would say so. Because last time it came out, it actually won an Oscar.
Yeah, I wonder if this is going to win.
Yeah. Did he win an Oscar for acting?
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. Imagine this is a DC superhero film.
Right.
The only time it's ever happened before is actually, again, Joker with Heath Ledger. This character, everybody loves, he's just so morally ambiguous.
I love
fantastic.
And maybe that is one of the reasons people love it so much, because it just pushes the boundaries of morality. Like, you don't know what it is. I recently just don't like people that think that, okay, if you did this, you're a bad person. If you did that, you're a good person. Or label some politicians as good or bad or something like that. It just shows how shallow you are, or how strict you are, Get out of that a little bit.
Yeah, I know. The craziest thing I heard some time ago was that there is no good and bad. And that's hard to wrap your head around because there's clearly, let's say there's genocide. And is that not bad? Millions of people have died. But when you start
But you really think about it outside of that?
Really
it's
remove
just natural
yourself.
selection.
Oh, God. Yeah, exactly. I think when you really open your mind to this, there's no good and bad, you can go so far with it. In the universe, there's absolutely, you can't judge something as good and bad.
Exactly. Do you think God cares about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
No, because
Mhm.
he's always creating. He's always creating life. Life is so abundant. He
Mhm.
doesn't have to worry about a few deaths or like a million or whatever.
Yeah,
You
right.
know?
And even still, I don't understand it fully, but I know this is the path to be going down. Even when there's war,
Yeah.
today there's war. It's everywhere. And the
Mm.
reason is because one side thinks they're good and
Yeah.
the other side is bad. Whereas if they just try to understand each other, like war would
Right.
end. So all of our problems are stemming from this idea of one thing is good and one thing is bad, and we need to stop it.
And what does that come from?
The
Ego.
ego that
Um,
I'm better than
yes.
you are.
Exactly.
Mm.
It's just about that. And we saw it here in the movie too. Everybody in that movie had an ego. Everyone. Even the police officers, even the lawyers,
Yeah.
everybody. And once they would get offended, for example, Joker would put on this performance, and once he is Joker, he would just say whatever is on his mind, be honest, and insult some people in the process. And so that would offend their ego, and they would like reciprocate that favor to
Wow.
him.
And it's crazy because the guards see themselves as so above Joker. There's this wonderful shot where uh, the guard gives Joker a cigarette because he's told a funny joke. So Joker is
Yeah.
like, thanks, pal. And the guard slaps him in the head like, you two are both people. Who do you think you are? That if this
Yeah.
guy thanked you by tapping you, you can get to hit him?
But
It's
that was a funny
crazy.
scene.
It's funny, yeah, but like, just makes you think, like,
Yeah.
and they keep showing this, like, Joker will just be honest and put himself out there, and like, for example, say, yeah, these fat guards who are treating me badly, like, that's the truth. You are fat
Right.
and you're treating me badly. Like, what am I lying about? And they get so offended at this, their ego is hurt. Like, wow, that happens every day. It's crazy to me.
Right. To a point that they just completely rewired Joker's brain after that.
There's
That's-
scenes in this movie that you're gonna be traumatized by.
I know.
Undeniably.
I know. And then after that, we see like, okay, the first day, Joker comes and he's so confident. He's like saying all these things. The next day he goes after whatever happened to him, guards did to him. He goes back and he completely has given up. He's Arthur now.
He is Arthur, yes, and his suit even is this bland color now. His makeup, you can just tell he didn't put his
It's
heart
not-
into it.
Yeah.
His hair, his face, like this is all the acting. Like it's the costume and the makeup and everything, but you can just tell it's a different man under this mask.
Yeah. What
It's-
is that? He's
it's good
such
to
a good
see.
actor. Like, did you see the extent he went to? The first scene that we see him, he's so skinny. He's like, I don't know. He's like a dying
Oh.
animal that you see, like that is like all skin and bones. And I've never seen a human that is alive
that's
like this.
painful. I know people are like starving and they don't look that skinny.
Exactly.
And do you imagine he lost weight for Joker and then he's gained it again, like his life is going on, and then he lost it again for Joker too? Like that's so unhealthy for him.
And
A
his
actor.
hair was so much thinner than
Oh.
last time.
Yeah. Like
I know that you had a problem
Yeah.
with the first Joker because of this, but then you saw the second Joker, and I knew.
yeah.
Oh God.
$1 billion, I would not put my actual body under this like gaining weight or losing weight. God, no, thank you. He has so much confidence, by the way, that he could like fix himself later.
I
You know what?
know.
It's insane.
How would you even do that? Like, even if you were okay with doing it, how would you even go about it?
Oh, it's so
Like-
unhealthy. Like, was it the Joker first one or this one? I heard he was eating only one apple a day.
Oh, the first one. Yeah. He did that.
That's so bad for his mentality and for his.
I know.
Physicality, of
Imagine like a few months, just like 2 months before shooting, he still had a lot of weight to lose, and then he starts going on this stupid diet.
One apple a day. What? That's the length he went for this movie.
Yeah. At least he kept
Great.
the doctor away. That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the best choice that he could have made. I mean, if he ate junk food, that would have made him more of a Joker, but
Yeah.
that's just like me. As a director, I would have pushed him
Oh,
to eat all the
no.
junk food ever, and like,
His, rest in peace. He's just under the grave when the movie comes out. We had to do it.
you know, we have to top Heath Ledger.
Yes. Anything, yeah, for the vision. Just
Yeah,
kill a man. That's how dark and your morality is.
that's
Actually.
how much of a good director
Yeah, you're
I
committed.
am.
Exactly.
So professional.
Let's tell Joaquin. I think he will like this.
Joaquin! Oh my god, you are so incredible. I'm just like so impressed. I can't even look at you.
Yeah, and we
So
talked about
blushing.
we talked about him in Napoleon as well, and he's been doing so much this year. Was that this year? That was like
That was
maybe
last
8 months
year,
ago.
exactly on November, and then here it is.
Back. This man, he can't be stopped. And if you really like Joaquin, he did another movie called Beau is Afraid, and it's about this man named Beau who is living in New York, and he's absolutely afraid of everything.
Ooh.
So he just keeps getting put in these horrible situations. It's very Joker like.
Oh.
And his mother is toxic, very toxic in there.
Wow.
And what you get to see is like Joaquin's super struggle. Every second, people are ramming into his apartment. He has to fight it. He has to gain confidence again.
Oh, okay, so very similar.
It's super similar, yeah. But you know what? Maybe if you watch that, you won't find him attractive because he's like struggling in that one.
Yeah.
But a good film if you like him as an actor. Beau is Afraid.
Beau is Afraid.
Toxic.
Nice.
That's one of those that when you sit in the theater or if you watch at home, you just start sweating. Like you're like, I never want to go to New York City. This looks so scary to me.
Is it a horror or something?
They call it a horror, but it's not like, there's no ghosts or anything. It's just a human element. Oh my god, like in that movie somebody bites him and shoots him and knives him when he just goes in the street. Like do you want to visit New York now?
Dear God, no. How did you go to New York after that?
Yeah, you're right. I had to just, you know how he has a split personality?
Yeah.
I just had to repress that part of myself.
Yeah, have the I love New York t-shirt on that persona. With
Exactly.
the hats and everything.
And Joaquin, we hope, he's easily gonna get another nomination unless a lot of great movies come out in the next 2 months.
Yeah.
They've got to.
So his voice is really good in this movie when he's singing. His dancing is amazing.
Yeah.
And his kissing scenes are, oh my God.
Oh, he's kissing everyone all the time.
That's actually so funny, yeah. He's kissing this, one of the prison mates who is like obsessed. So basically like a Netflix documentary kind of thing came out after all the things that happened with Joker. And so he's famous. Everybody knows him now. And they can't really do anything to him. That's why he has this court like hearing and everything. And then, so there are so many fans of him. And this Harley Quinn is also a fan, an obsessed fan. And then there's also this prison mate as well. That is like, everybody's like, oh, I heard that Joker is a good kisser.
Where did they hear that? Who said that?
I mean, like, okay, maybe it was me.
Yeah,
you know,
so.
if you check out the last episode on Joker, it starts with that. Yeah, I think you know when he walked on the show, the first thing he did was that he
kissed that
the,
lady. Yeah,
yes,
right.
Yes, he did.
I love that trademark of his because that's something in the real world is very not common for you to just walk up to someone and kiss them on the lips. So that's his core, like that's his personality.
So
it's just I'll go right for the very illegal activities, you know. I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
the best. That just shows who he is. Like immediately you get to be introduced to.
Yeah, and also like
Joker.
that's such an act of love too. So he's like, I love you as a person, like my lawyer. Great. In front of everybody else.
Joker is like one of those guys that is so confident that would tell you sweetheart every time or darling, you know,
exactly.
as he's talking. That's why. Yeah. I'm just like, I love these kind of characters a lot. Like I can think of a few characters like this. Take Nick Wilde from Zootopia. Another one. Okay, there's that one. There is one.
So
Flynn
funny.
Rider, definitely. Yeah, he has that kind of vibe. That's why I like him.
This kind of characters are just very confident and don't care
Cocky and like
what people think. Cocky.
very sharp. They're witty. And he's so funny, by the way, in this movie. So if he wasn't a comedian in the last one and he made fun of on the show, Marie show, now he's just like amazing. He's so freaking funny. What's up with
And
it?
it shows that he was always funny, but he was just very repressed. So once he started to do the killings, now he's like, okay, I'm gonna say what's on my mind,
Yeah.
and it will be funny. Though in the first movie they made him so cringe. Like they gave him this scene in the comedy club where he acts like he doesn't know what comedy is. Oh, that was so hard to watch. He's like, nobody's laughing now. Just waiting for people to cry. It was really sad. But here he is funny.
He is
He's
also
understands.
funny because maybe people are kind of like introduced to his sense of humor. So, you know, at every scene that he would like say, and I killed like these people, Wall Street guys, again in this new movie. People in the audience would be laughing, you know,
Yeah.
along with Joker. And the interviewer is like so blank, like, what are you laughing at? It's not funny. It's not something to joke about. And everybody in the audience is laughing. So it just shows that we also are obsessed with him. We are a fan of him. We got to know his sense of humor.
Yeah, it's very
That was
this
so good.
dark sense of humor. I love how he also laughs at other people's jokes.
Yeah.
In this one, they just made him more human. Like, I like that.
I know. And how did you like Lady Gaga's acting and performance?
So they've brought a singer. Lady Gaga is also an actor, but we of course know her mainly as a singer. So that
Right.
was a big bet that they were playing.
Yeah.
Although, you know, she's made a few films now. But still, like this woman who's made for the stage is now here playing this like smaller, more intimate role of this like lover toxic lady.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. Like people are going to be against it at first, I'm sure. But you say that it's the perfect choice because she was born to play it. Why do you think?
Yeah. I mean, her whole career, she was like that. She was always the one that was all about like weird fashion and like bringing this kind of side to her. Something that is, she was always unique, you know, on every red carpet. She was just like bringing this new side. And her even singing voice is so different from anything else. And even her life, the things that she went through,
Yeah,
is
you're
very
right.
similar.
Exactly.
Like it would make a person go crazy. She didn't, obviously. She came out very sane and very kind and good.
I know,
obviously,
but she's really good at playing this psycho person who's been through a lot.
definitely.
They also give her this twist in the movie.
Yes.
Such a twist. Okay, we will not spoil it, but you will be surprised to find out where her character is gonna go. It's not what you see at the beginning.
Yeah, I kind of want to spoil. No, the thing I would say is that, well, we know Harley Quinn is a psychologist, right? We know that. Here, she is still that. She is a psychology major or something. Or maybe, like, she is a psychologist, like, has a doctorate, everything. But the only thing is that she is not 100% honest with Joker. And I think the reason why she's not honest is because Joker's persona is against rich people. It's against that like higher class, middle class, kind of mostly higher class people that are insensitive to lower class people's needs. So once he figures out that this woman was not 100% honest about who she said she was, he was like betrayed. He literally felt betrayed. His heart was broken.
His heart was broken, but he was totally in love with her still, which is the fantasy element that I love about it.
Yeah.
Is that this Joker guy who in the previous films we've seen, he's very black and white when it comes to I like you, so I'm going to be nice to you, or I hate you, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
So suddenly this new woman comes in his life where he's like, oh my God, she lied to me about everything. And she's using me maybe, and she just wants attention. But I feel so close to her. I feel like I'm a whole person when I'm near her.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? Like, I want her to sit near me. Oh my God, this is such a new aspect of Joker. Like, he's vulnerable when it comes to her. He
Yeah.
starts singing love songs and like saying like, oh, if you go away, what am I going to do? From Joker, this is so fantastic.
You're
Unique.
right. It is Joker falling in love, you know, and doing all these things. It's unexpected from Joker. Arthur, sure, because in the first movie it was Arthur that fell in love with that girl. But in this one, it's literally Joker that is doing all these things. It's insane. And they're like so crazy together. They're crazy in love, you know? They fire up the whole prison. They run around. They sing. They do this. It's
There's like
beautiful.
me and you when we hang out. We
Yeah.
just get so toxic.
Right.
That's them. Like together, their dynamic is not safe.
Exactly.
They're starting fires.
They become devils. They do everything. And they walk on fences. I don't know. Just climb up them. And They fire up everywhere.
And she's even a worse influence on him. Like, at least he's just killing. He's not like causing chaos. But now they do unsafe things.
And I thought like it would be the opposite way. Like Joker would be the one that would be having a bad influence on her. But no. It's the other way around. She is so toxic. She's horrible. She encourages him to be Joker and like to put on the makeup. And also she's such a horrible person because she's in love just with Joker. Like even when she wants to kiss him, she's like, put on the Joker makeup. Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything with Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
Bring on the Joker. That's gonna be me too. But she's like, I don't often say this about characters. I don't say they're horrible, but she is really, at least to Joker.
Even though you would do the same thing.
Even though I would do the same thing. Yeah.
It's hard
No,
to
I
say.
do love Arthur a lot, actually. If he didn't have that vulnerable side, I would never have the guts even to talk to Joker or Joker person if I saw one, you know?
Yeah,
Arthur
right.
is the part that makes him human and vulnerable and makes me love him. It's actually not Joker.
Yeah. And you know, the opposite dynamic is exactly what makes this movie so much better than, let's say, Suicide Squad, which is, again, Joker and Harley Quinn. Usually in those movies, Harley Quinn is this naive woman. Like, she is a psychologist, but she just falls prey to this, like, psycho Joker guy and loses sense of herself. She just wants to please him after that. And she's like, oh, my God, daddy. Like, that's the dynamic that they have. Like, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. And then they give her this like unnecessarily sexy look too.
Yeah.
So always like,
what is up with that?
I'm just like, I'm your slave, like take me. That's how she is. And then they turn this around so much. They turn it around a lot with this one where she's a full human on her own and she's falling in love with Joker, but like because she's fully there, she is going to be having an effect on him too. It's not just he becomes the dominant in that. No, they affect each other. That's so much more interesting.
It is.
Than every other Joker.
And she's like the one that is masterminding everything. She's the one that watched this show, planned coming to this place to meet him and telling these kind of lies to him in order to get close to him. And like everything was planned. She's literally using her psychological like knowledge to like make him fall in love with her. Some kind of dark psychology.
This is a cool thing to see too. You can just tell every line she's saying has been rehearsed and she knows what will have an effect on him. Man, I love seeing Joker struggle with this because he's always the confident guy who knows what to say. That's awesome.
And then Joker, also when he's like in the court, and one of my favorite scenes, obviously, he has this like, starts with a British accent, goes into Southern accent. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's like, Mr. Puddles? Your name is Mr. Puddles?
But it just goes to show he's trying to put on this grand kind of show for everybody. And what he's seen is this kind of thing, probably on TV. And I love how he's jumping in and out of this. So it's Western, it's British. Suddenly it's his voice like, really? Your name is really Mr. Puddles? And then he goes back into like, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, just back and forth with this. Like, that's highly interesting.
It's because, when you put on a show, you're actually trying to like imitate this kind of persona. It slips. It's gotta, you know, especially since he hasn't rehearsed it that much. It's so cool. You see, you know, from the first movie, the character, the little guy that was like witness of that murder in Joker's house, that guy comes and he's the witness now in this movie. And it's just so funny here because Joker puts on this performance and he goes on, but Joker really likes this guy. He really does. And he's so affected. And at the end, you could even see it on his face.
Yeah, you're right. He's so conflicted. This is the one man he's connected to. And now the man is here judging him and he doesn't want to judge back. Wow. Incredible.
I know. And even to think about it, like that guy, I don't even know from the first movie, did he really like Joker? Joker just had this connection to this guy, maybe because he felt a little like superior, or I don't know. you
They
know.
both felt like they were cast outs, and they were both at least
Yeah,
acknowledging each other.
I see. Yes.
In this favorite scene of yours, there's a seed of what is so incredible about the film,
Uh huh. What?
which is this twist at the end that you will not see coming. No one will see this coming. Swear to God. And so now you come to this favorite scene, and we get to see in Joker's notebook, he's written puddles in big letters. And that's his only question, his only defense, you know? He was sitting there like, how do
I
I defend
didn't
myself? You know, it's
notice this.
crazy. Like,
I noticed the puddles,
yeah, yeah.
but oh my
Like he's
god.
just sitting there, like they show he's a little bit dumb. This Joker guy, like he has all these things we've talked about. He is two sides, one side depressed, one side a show. He wants attention. He's all these, but he's also just a little bit like not there mentally.
Yeah.
Or like maybe he's just too stressed, or maybe he because he's repressed it for any reason.
Yeah.
So instead of sitting there and like the Joker that we know from Heath Ledger, like really figuring out what do I say to convince these people, he's like, okay, how do I go about this defense? I'm gonna ask like, why is he lying about his last name? Yeah, what is this? So he just writes in giant letters like puddles, and then it's so funny because immediately when he gets up and he's like, puddles, is that your real name? And he's like, yep, that's my real name. So now that his whole defense is
It's all
gone, what is he gonna
gone.
do now?
Oh man.
So good to
And
see.
the crazy thing is, the moment they announced that Mr. Puddles was coming to sit there and like be a witness or something, I was like, Puddles?
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
What is that?
What is that?
What kind of last name is that? And then there it is. This guy is questioning it.
Mhm.
Wow. I think like I'm
That's
mentally
favorites.
on the
You're-
same wavelength as Joker.
yeah. Me too. Everybody in
Yeah.
the audience. Yeah.
Just one more string cut, and then I will be like, just like, this.
Mm.
Yeah, we would be there. Absolutely.
Exactly. Easy.
We're just one step away from this.
Mm.
And so here's the craziest kind of things that are happening back to back, colorful stuff, funny stuff. And it's just such a good movie, I think, overall. We really enjoyed it. Everybody enjoyed it. They had such a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's such a big twist at the end that we will not spoil.
Yeah,
But-
we won't. Check it out. It's worth it. And you know what it is? The music you will love. So there's some songs they made for the movie, and maybe those are not as memorable, but there's gonna be so many favorites and classics in here that
Yeah.
Joker's singing, that Lady Gaga is singing, that you like since yesterday when we watched it, I've been listening to this song
Yeah.
over and over called If You Go Away. It's like this, famous song from beforehand, but you hear it again from this character's mouth that you love.
Right.
So you're gonna like the music, and maybe you won't remember everything, but that's okay. Not every movie can be masterful like a La La Land or
Right.
a Bahubali. It's not possible.
Exactly.
It was
And
fun.
here in this movie, we also see Joker accepting who he is at the end. So these whole like different two personalities, split personalities that people kept like talking about. He realizes he's both of them. He is Joker. He is Arthur. Arthur did all these things. Arthur was the one that killed these people. So he gets to that acceptance. But here's one thing I heard today that kind of made me think. So we always talk about the fact, like, that's what they say, accept it. You have to first get to acceptance. Don't deny it, But this is something I heard today. So acceptance is closed off. It closes you off if you accept something. Instead of acceptance, allow things. Accepting is like,
Allow.
okay, this is my situation. Okay,
can't
I
do
accept it.
anything
I can't
about
do
it.
anything
Yeah.
else. Yeah, that's the reality. But allowance is, okay, this is an option. I'm open to more things, allowing other things to come to me as well. That's so much
That's
better than
interesting.
acceptance. Acceptance, literally, even though maybe you think you're not so affected by words, for you it doesn't matter if it's acceptance or allowance, it actually does have a lot of influence. Because when you say acceptance, it's just like, that's it, nothing else can be done, this is the reality 100%. But no, allowance is so much better.
That's fascinating. And if you think about it, it's like he's accepted it at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's accepted that he's in this jail and this is his life, just throwing out his piss and going back into the jail. And then by the end of the film, he is allowing himself to have been this murderer and have been tricked by Harley Quinn. So really,
I
like, this
don't
is a
think
big
he
theme.
allowed though. He accepted at the end
You
too.
think?
So he's still closed off.
How come you think it's just
Uh-huh.
acceptance and not allowance for
Yeah,
him?
he's sitting there, in the court, and he's saying that, yes, I did these things, I killed that person, and he is kind of like Arthur here. He's Arthur. He is a little bit more powerful than what Arthur would have been, like in a normal day or something. He's not Joker here. But still, it's like not that powerful. I don't know. I don't
I
see
think
it.
I know what you mean, because right before this, he's broken, shattered by those guards.
Yeah.
And we get this moment with him alone
Right.
where he completely gives up. He's just
Yeah.
hearing how no matter what I do, these people are always going to be more powerful and they're going to
Mm,
destroy me and
that's
people
right.
like me. So he almost shuts off at that point and he just says, I'm going to stop fighting.
Exactly. So he
That's so
didn't actually
sad.
grow. Like he didn't go to that next step to tap into his power or whatever. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't find his true self. He just accepted that reality, the Arthur's reality.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
Totally.
fucked. So it's not even like a growth in character or anything. Well, we don't
It's just him
expect.
giving up. That's
Yeah.
so shocking to see because
Hmm.
especially in this movie, we are very positive. We're in his fantasies. He's joking.
Yeah.
He is gonna win the case. He has a love. There's music. And then the arc is that he gives up at the end. Wow. That's painful
That's
to hear.
horrible,
Yeah.
really. Like, because you don't expect that from Joker. Like, Joker could get crazier and crazier,
Yeah.
but never like a break is gonna happen for him to go back to what he was. Like, that's
Damn.
insane. Why did the director do this?
That's so sad. Like, it doesn't make me feel good. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I understand that story wise, like, it's very
Uh,
strong that a character like Joker even broke with New York City. And it goes back to this theme they had at the beginning, which was what do you get when you get like this mentally ill person with a society that abandons him? That's the theme again. Like, he's just destroyed, that they don't care, and no one, it won't be fixed until city cares.
yes.
Which is again same theme as Megalopolis. But anyway,
Right.
so they show this really well. Like, even though the twists are sad, even though if you see, like we talked about this yesterday, the ending of the film is very similar to the beginning of the first film.
Yeah.
If him's running through the city and just trying to save a piece for himself and the city will not allow it.
Right.
So really thematically, like, it's strong. I get it.
Uh-huh.
But it's difficult. It's so sad to see Joker fail
Yeah.
and give up.
That scene, let's talk about this as well, because, like, yes, the ending of this movie is so similar to the first scene in the first movie. In the first movie, what do we see? Joker is in the clown outfit. He is having this sign, and then it gets stolen. He runs in the city after those guys.
Yeah, helpless. He can't even reach them. He's running as fast as he can, and those guys are taking away his money, his job, well-being.
Right? And then they beat him up. They're bullies. And then here we see an opposite kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a Joker fan that is dressed as Joker, and he's actually so handsome, right?
Yeah. He
Because
looks
he's like
more
a
like
younger-
Joker than Joker himself.
I know. He's like, and has the full hair and everything.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Luscious.
I know. And then this guy runs after the real Joker. He's a fan, obviously, and Joker is like running away from him because he doesn't want these things that happen. He doesn't want this chaos. He doesn't want these fans to do these things, to destroy the city or whatever. So he's running away, and the fan is running after him.
And now this time he's the one who is not in clown makeup. His
Yeah.
clown makeup was smudged. He's like a real man now, a broken man. And then his shadow, it's like weird. Another Joker is following him,
Oh,
and
it's
he's just running away. Like,
beautiful.
that's so strong.
I know. Like, could it get stronger than this? Like,
Yeah,
in
not really.
vision and like in shot or artistry. I don't know.
Yes.
In any sense, it's so
Oh,
beautiful.
it's so satisfying if you've seen the first and now see the second.
Yeah, like your
Great
ego
stuff.
is like going after you because your ego is like a parasite. It needs you to be there to get life from you. If you don't exist or run away from it, it's not gonna exist anymore. So it needs you so much. It's gonna run after you. You can't just get rid of it that easily. And that's what we see on the screen. And so beautiful and satisfying. He gets to the stairs, and there he meets Harley Quinn too.
That
But
rhymed. Yeah, love that.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice. But yeah, he breaks up with. Well, she breaks up with him. That is kind of sad.
Difficult. So while we love this movie and we recommend you check it out in the theater in IMAX, there's also definitely some things that we find a little bit more questionable with it. So I do.
Uh huh.
Did you want to talk about it?
What do you find?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Oh.
In my opinion, Joker could have done with just a little bit less music. And
Sure.
I wonder what people are gonna think, but it sometimes goes into straight up, here's what I think. I'll start singing it. And I don't know if it has to do with the runtime. I forget how long it is. Like, is it 2.5 hours? But if they just cut it a bit there, I think it would have
Yeah.
been really strong, like Oscar worthy, for real.
Exactly. So here's the thing, there are some music that are just so repetitive and they just come back again and again. And it's not even a kind of music that you would remember at all. And it's just
It's
like
unnecessary.
so many scenes are similar. The scenes that are like singing. Yeah, why?
That's the problem with being repetitive. At least if it was each time new, it would be just jumbled up, but it
Right.
would be unique. But the thing is, the movie doesn't even need it. Like, if it's
Yeah.
repetitive, it's the same beat again.
What's the point exactly? Because like every second there should be a purpose of like what you're putting on the screen. Yeah,
I think, to be honest, I think they just wanted to use as much Lady Gaga as they could. You know, she's got to be there dancing, singing, like you say, playing the keyboard. You know, they just want to show her and like market
Yeah.
her probably for a new audience. But it doesn't pay
Well, that's a
off.
shame because like people, the fans of Joker are the fans of Joaquin. You know, they want to see that. They want to see that dark side. They want to see that beautiful like shots that were like in Joker 1, that kind of like taxi driver kind of effect. They want to see that, you know.
Yeah.
They're not there for Lady Gaga or whatever.
I bet this movie is gonna do so much better with women because
Yes.
this is fantasy.
Yes, 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 absolutely. But also men, like did you see how many guys were laughing their ass off there?
Yeah, exactly.
It was so good. Like everybody was having so much fun and so many different kind of like audiences, like different ages, demographics. So
Exactly. People were excited to watch this movie. People were clapping before even the movie had started.
and that never happens.
That never happens.
Oh, imagine
love that.
Megalopolis. We went to watch it
Silence.
from such a great director and like nothing. Not even clapping after it was done. People were jumping off their seats just to go out. Like somebody had tortured them to stay there to watch the movie.
It's good for people to have been excited about this kind of
Yes.
thing.
Well,
There's a-
imagine.
There's like music in the air.
Oh.
And Halloween is around the corner. People are loving jumping back into the world.
And we have a new like Harley Quinn kind of costume and makeup, and also a Joker, new kind of Joker costume as well. It's not just a red coat. There's like a brown coat or something.
Who's gonna wear the brand?
I
That's
know.
like his
But
lowest.
everybody has that, you know.
Oh, you're right.
Everybody's dad has something like that. It's so beautiful. Like some of the scenes are so strong visually. Like there's this scene that Joker, after the fire scene, that Harley Quinn and Joker were trying to escape. Joker is caught, arrested. He's sent to his jail. And there, it's so beautiful. So first he goes in there, they shut the door, and it's pitch black. I think that's how it goes. I think so. It's pitch black. Then there's one ignited light, and that's his cigar. That's his cigar, and then suddenly his face is kind of illuminated. But he's still like his silhouette is like a shadow kind of thing. It's just, and then he's laughing or something. He's Joker at that point. You know, it just shows that his shadow side is the Joker, but he still has that little light in him because every human has that light still in them, even
For
if
sure.
they ignore it.
And you know why he didn't succeed in this movie and his arc was a failure?
Why?
Because he was smoking so much. He was constantly with a cigarette in his mouth. Like, do you know
No
how bad it
way.
is for him?
You have to be in the cigarette company's marketing campaign. You know, they're always like writing cigarettes is bad for you and everything. You're always saying that.
That's horrible.
You're just like, this guy's downfall was because of cigarettes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's already struggling with being on the court trial. He's fighting for his life and death. And now he's on top of that adding this like, oh, I just want to feel nauseous today. I just want for my brain to be foggy. Like, he's putting himself in a more difficult situation. Bro, and fighting addiction and everything. Like, I wish somebody told him, like the lawyer. I just wish someone brought it up. Actually, they did. Remember, this lawyer is like, you shouldn't be smoking here. It looks bad.
Oh, yes. Because
somebody should have told him.
Because the smoking made him look so cool and Joker-like. So
yeah, and he likes that. Literally, every time he smokes it, he thinks he's so cool.
Yeah. Every time he's like laid back.
His head is high. Like, his confidence is now shot up.
Yes.
And he starts dancing and he's like, oh, now I'm in a safe world. You know, this cigarette, I control it. Oh, it's so sad for him. TBH.
Yeah, but everybody is smoking that world. Yeah. Everyone. Yeah. Interviewer, I don't know, lawyer, no, probably.
Yeah, not the lawyer, but literally.
The judge.
The judge. No. The guards.
No. Harley Quinn is like smoking it back to back to back to back to back. And we were talking about smoking Maestro. You said that too.
Yes. If you remember the movie Maestro, which we also talked about deeply, they're smoking in every single scene. And I didn't think that could ever be topped, yet in Joker,
here we are.
It did.
Oh, man. But it looks cool. Like, accept that. I don't get how you're not, like, obsessed and in love with Joker. I just don't get it. Like, didn't you see those kiss scenes in, like, the prison?
They almost sold me, you know? I was on the brink. I saw you fall. You fell for him. Like, immediately you were just gone off the cliff. But I was like close to there because this is a man who I've fantasized about deeply, you know, Joker from the Heath Ledger days.
I see.
And so for me to get to see like, oh, it's his wedding. He has a suit on. He's in love. You know, everything was really hitting home. But I kind of like went over my toxic phase of loving this man. Like, you know, there are better men in the world.
You're over that.
Yeah, but I totally get it.
I think I didn't have, like, every teenage girl has to go through that. I didn't when I was a teenager. And here I am again as an adult having to go through that. And I still am so thankful. Imagine if I was an old woman, you know, watching that and then drooling for this guy.
Every woman.
My grandkids would be so disappointed in me. I could not bear to see that.
And I think grandmas would fall in love with him if they watch it. So it just makes me think like, like you say, every woman has to go through it. It's like a rites of passage. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, like every girl has had a crush on him in this earth.
Yeah.
So Joker is the same. Like, you just got to go through that. And I was in love, and I'm telling you, like, I fantasized about him every night. So you got to go through this phase.
Right. Imagine if you saw this if you were a teenager.
That's what I'm telling you.
Right. Especially as you say, like, you brought up the wedding scene. He's wearing like a white coat, everything white, with the Joker mask. He's getting married to Harley Quinn. What? So good. Cool. And the marriage is not really as romantic when it comes to Joker, you know? With Joker, affairs surely are hot, but marriage, commitment, not really. Healthy relationships, no.
And he doesn't even have a house.
Yeah, exactly. He has nothing. You know, can you take care of the kid? What time are you going to work? What time are you coming back? No, that can't happen. No. He's not that kind of material.
Yeah, simply as a fantasy.
Yes, simply as a lover, a boyfriend.
Yeah. Lover. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like, he just comes to kidnap you from work and you hang out for a few hours. Like, this is the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, drop me off back, you know. I don't want to live in your scums for so long.
Yes, literally.
Let me go back. But yes, that's the way it is. And so now that you brought up Heath Ledger, okay, without spoiling anything, I'm just gonna say that you guys are in for a surprise at the end of the movie, so go watch it.
Watch
if you
it
haven't. And if
so
you
quickly.
have, comment down below because we can't wait to discuss this with you guys.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, what did
how
you
did
think
it make
of
you
it?
feel? Well, what about those shocking moments that I know you know what they are? Tell us how you feel about
Yeah.
what you saw.
I can't
over
wait
there.
to discuss this with someone, especially because like we got the advance tickets.
Oh yes.
It's still not out until like October
Yum.
3. So I'm like, I need someone desperately.
Yeah,
But that's
in the
what
theater, Anna and I were talking, and then suddenly she just turns to the other person, like, "Okay, what did you think? Please tell me everything. What did you think about the music? I just need to talk about it. Like,
I
we need to
never
fangirl
do that.
together."
I
Yeah.
never ever do that. And she was also so kind and
Yeah,
shocked, and yeah, that was a good moment. I was kind of like disappointed in the fact that I didn't bring our card, so we could like
Oh,
distribute it among the movie fans.
yeah. Next time.
Yeah, we gotta do
Indeed.
something like this. Gladiator 2, Wicked.
Oh,
things.
so many films are coming out. The theater is
Theater.
theater is packed with new movies. So yeah, so many new films are coming out. The theater is filled with fantastic films. We've got a backlog of your recommendations that are fabulous. We're going through it, and please give us more recommendations. We love movies, and we know you pick good ones. So tell us what you think.
Exactly. Thank you
What's
so much for watching this episode.
Thank
Check out
you.
our other videos as well and subscribe to our channel and become a pal if you haven't already. Thank you
Thank you.
so much and have a fantastic day.
See you
Bye.
next week.